It wants something from me. It's not about the cakes. Oh God, it wasn't the cakes they wanted. All the stories, the folklore, they leave out the most important part. They always do. A soul for a soul. Is that what this is? Is that the price? So, for this year's Halloween special, I wanted to try something a little different. Something older. We've all carved pumpkins and binged scary movies, but I really wanted to connect with a tradition that goes way, way back. I fell down a huge rabbit hole online, and I found this thing called a soul cake. Now, if you've never heard of them, you're not the only one. I hadn't either. Soul cakes are these little spiced cakes that were traditionally baked in Britain and Ireland around Halloween, specifically for All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Way back in medieval times, people practiced something called souling. The basic idea was that children and the poor would go door to door, and in exchange for one of these cakes, they'd promise to say a prayer for the souls of your dead relatives. The belief was that these prayers could help a soul get out of purgatory a bit faster. It's actually one of the traditions that probably led to our modern trick-or-treating. But the deeper I dug, the more I found hints that this Christian tradition was layered on top of something much older, something pre-Christian and pagan. Before souling, the Celtic festival of Samhain was all about honoring the dead, and it was believed that on that night, the veil between our world and the spirit world was at its thinnest. Some of the folklore I read suggested that leaving out cakes wasn't just for prayers. It was an offering for wandering spirits, almost to, placate them so they wouldn't cause any trouble. It's that mix of cozy baking and genuinely unsettling history that I just find so fascinating. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to bake them. I found a few recipes online that seem pretty authentic, or as close as you can get for something this old. Most of them call for spices like nutmeg, cinnamon, and allspice, with dried fruit like currants. So, let's just get into it. Okay, so we're starting with our dry ingredients. Wow, the smell of these spices together. You guys, it's incredible. It smells exactly how you'd imagine a crisp autumn day would smell if it were a food. So warm and comforting. It's actually kind of hard to believe something this wholesome could be connected to anything sinister. A lot of the old recipes say the cakes were marked with a cross, which symbolized giving alms to the poor. It just feels so respectful. There we go. Little pieces of history. They look so innocent. I'm going to pop these in the oven, and the house is about to smell absolutely amazing. I'll check back in with you guys when they're done and the sun has started to set. That just feels appropriate. Okay, they're done. And they are delicious. I might have sampled one, or maybe two, purely for quality control, But now comes the part that feels, the most like a ritual. According to the folklore, you're supposed to leave the cakes out as an offering. Some stories say to put them on the windowsill. Others say on the doorstep, for any wandering souls passing by. It's gotten so quiet all of a sudden. I actually found this little verse online. It's a traditional souling rhyme. It feels right to say it. A soul cake, a soul cake. Have mercy on all Christian souls for a soul cake. And that's it. The cakes are out. I know it's just a silly old tradition, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have goosebumps right now. The air just feels heavy. But hey, it's for the vlog, right? What's the worst that could happen? Good morning. Or it is morning. Not sure how good it is. I slept horribly. Every little creak the house made last night just sounded louder. Anyway, let's go check on the cakes. I'm honestly expecting a raccoon got to them or something. Okay, that's weird. It's not torn up like an animal would do it. It's just a bite, a single, neat little bite, like a person would take, and they left the rest. Who does that? It has to be an animal, right? A very polite, very tidy squirrel. I'm going with that because the other options are just a little too weird. Okay, so this is where it gets weirder. I was starting to edit last night's footage, just scrubbing through the audio to clean it up, and I found something. It's probably nothing, just the wind or the house settling, but just listen. Do you hear that? Right after I close the door, there's this tiny whisper. I can't make it out. It's so faint. It's probably just my brain playing tricks on me because I'm spooked from the whole soul cake thing. That has to be it. I can't shake this feeling that I'm being watched. I know. Oldest horror movie cliche in the book, but it's true. It feels like someone is standing right at the edge of my vision. And it's so cold in here, freezing, even with the heat cranked all the way up. I keep telling myself, I'm just psyching myself out, that it's all in my head, but then, no way. Did you see that? The camera saw that, right? This isn't a prank. This isn't the house settling. Something is in my house. I baked the cakes. I said the prayer. What did I invite in? I thought this was just a cozy historical vlog, but it doesn't feel cozy anymore. It feels hungry. The other cakes I left on the kitchen counter, they're gone, not eaten, just gone. I couldn't stay in the living room. I couldn't stay in my bedroom. The whispering, it was everywhere last night. It wasn't just one voice anymore. It was so many, all tangled together. I locked myself in here. I turned the shower on as hot as it would go, just to have a noise to drown it all out. And then I saw this. More. It wants more. More cakes. Is that it? Is it really that simple? So I did it. I went back into the kitchen. I could feel them watching me the whole time, and I baked another batch. I did everything exactly the same. I left them right on the counter. They haven't touched them. It's been hours. They don't want the cakes. So what? What do they want? A soul. For a soul. I understand now. God, I was so stupid. It was never about feeding the dead. All the folklore, the cute stories about getting prayers for cakes, that was just the sanitized version they told the children. The older magic, the Samhain ritual, that was a transaction, an exchange. They don't want a prayer. They don't want a cake. What do you want from me? I gave you what you asked for. I did the ritual. Why is the camera? What's happening to the feed? It was never about helping their souls get to heaven. It was a trade. A soul for a soul. They don't want prayers for their souls. They want a trade for a new one. They've been waiting, trapped, and I just opened the door. They want a soul to take their place. They want my soul. If you've heard of this, if you know what this price really is, please tell me what to do in the comments. Is there any way to reverse this? Is there a way to? The footage ends here. The channel has been inactive since this upload. The historical tradition of souling was a Christian-era practice where cakes were exchanged for prayers to help souls in purgatory. This custom was built on older, pre-Christian traditions of leaving offerings for spirits during the festival of Samhain. While history documents these practices as acts of charity and remembrance, the line between honoring the dead and bargaining with them has often blurred in folklore. Over centuries, these ancient rituals have inspired dark fictional tales of what a restless spirit might truly demand in exchange for a simple cake.